Welcome back to another video, and this is a very exciting video because this is the first of 31 conference tournament prediction videos we will be doing. Yes, you heard that right. We are predicting all 31 conference tournaments right here on this channel within the course of the next 2 weeks. So this is a very exciting time to be on the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new because we got loads of college basketball content coming up here soon as we make our way towards March Madness. We are now less than 12 hours away from March as of me recording this, and this will be out in very shortly after I record this. But today we got our Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament predictions, and yeah, we're going to be going full in depth here. So let's go ahead and take a look right at the bracket. And this is actually a little bit of a weird format compared to the rest of the conference tournament. So they do reseeding, which isn't necessarily a weird thing, because a lot of other conferences do this as well, a lot of the smaller conferences. But the other weird thing that they do is they go ahead and put the 9 and 10 seed up against each other and the 7 and 8. I don't really love that because it kind of rewards the 9 seed more than the 7 seed, because now the 7 seed has to play a better team than the 9 seed does, which doesn't really make sense. I get it. It's so the 1 seed can be guaranteed to play the worst of these 4 teams. But I can't say I'm that big of a fan of it. But let's go ahead and kick things off here. Stetson versus Central Arkansas. Now, these two teams, there's actually 12 teams in this conference. West Georgia and Bellarmine did not qualify because only 10 teams qualify. But Central Arkansas and Stetson are actually both lower than those two teams that didn't make this tournament in KenPom. Central Arkansas and Stetson, by the way, are two of the worst teams in Division One when it comes to KenPom. They are both bottom 14 in the country. So yeah, these are two pretty bad teams. Can't expect them to go much farther than this. I'll go ahead and take Stetson. They won it last year. I mean, I'm assuming they didn't bring much back, because if they did and they're this bad this year, that's a pretty disappointing season. So I'm assuming most of their guys were older last year, but yeah, they're 8 and 23. I don't know. I just think when it comes down to it, they won it last year, so maybe they can get through this game, I guess. Austin Peay versus North Florida. Now, when you're looking at KenPom for these two teams, Austin Peay ranked 282 in terms of overall. North Florida all the way up at 244, and North Florida is just outside of the top 100 in offensive efficiency, and they're actually one of the fastest teams in Division One. So I'll go ahead and take North Florida. I know they've shown some flashes throughout the year. They've actually beaten some of the best teams in this conference, but they just haven't done it consistently. They're a very young team, but I do like their ceiling. I feel like they have a chance to actually be maybe the biggest dark horse in this conference, just because of how fast they play. They're actually ranked 9th in tempo overall in the country. And yeah, like I said, if they can just become consistent, this team could be very dangerous. The thing I don't love about them, though, is the fact that they are so inexperienced, so young. But I do think they can get it done over Austin Peay. Austin Peay doesn't really concern me all that too much. But moving back to the top, Lipscomb versus Stetson. Now, Lipscomb was my pick to win this conference last year. They were a 3 seed last year. Now they're a 1 seed, and they're 84th overall in KenPom. I can't see them losing to Stetson here in the first round, especially because of how bad Stetson is. So I'll go ahead and take Lipscomb here pretty safely to move on to the semifinals. Now looking at this 4-5 matchup, I think this has the chance to be the best game of the quarterfinals here in the ASUN tournament. These two teams are very close together. In terms of KenPom, there's only about 8 teams in between these two teams, and they're both neck and neck. Eastern Kentucky a bit more offensive oriented. Jacksonville actually has a top 100 defense, and I like to slow the game down a little bit. But so does Eastern Kentucky, which is kind of weird because, like I said, they're more offensive focused. They're better offensively, but they also like to play the game slow. Which honestly, I think that kind of favors Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky also just recently beat Lipscomb. They're actually 2-0 against Lipscomb this season. So I actually originally did pick Jacksonville, but I switched it up, went with Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky is slightly higher, slightly ahead of Jacksonville in KenPom, and they're a bit more well-rounded, which is kind of what I look for. I look for teams that are better on one side of the ball when picking upsets, but when it is this close together, I think more well-rounded is a bit of a bigger advantage. And like I said, Eastern Kentucky has played really well against the best of the best in this conference. So I think in a big game scenario, I trust them a little bit more here to get this one done. North Alabama, I've seen a lot of people taking North Alabama to win this conference. They're 22-9. They have the number 85 offense in the country in terms of efficiency and a top 200 defense. They're actually one of only two teams, I believe, in this conference to be plus in terms of adjusted efficiency. So they're one of two teams in the positives. But like I said, this North Florida team, I think people are counting them out. I'm going to go ahead and take North Alabama. I just think they're quite a bit better, but I wouldn't count out North Florida at all in this game. I really like North Florida's chances here. I think people are dismissing them. Like I said, they're one of the fastest teams in Division One. I could really see it if they get things together. North Florida could be, like I said, this is probably the dark horse team. I really wouldn't be shocked if North Alabama did lose here, but I think they get through. I just think they're a little bit too much. Like I said, North Florida is a fast-paced team. They're one of the best offensive teams in this conference. But North Alabama actually does rank ahead of them in terms of offensive efficiency. So I think even if it does get into a high-tempo game, which is what North Florida is going to want it to be, I think North Alabama's chances are pretty high here in getting this one done. Florida Gulf Coast versus Queens. Florida Gulf Coast is one of those teams I feel like we see a lot in March Madness. They're a 3 seed this season. And fun fact about Queens is they can actually they're not eligible for this conference tournament. So, they're not eligible to make March Madness, just because they are transitioning. I think this is their second transition year, so I think next year they will be eligible. But I would love to see Queens go out and win this conference just for a little bit of parity. But I do think FGCU is a little bit too much here. They are actually according to KenPom, they are the most average team in FBS. They are exactly 0 in terms of adjusted efficiency. They're the only team to be exactly 0. They're 18-13, so take that what you want, I guess. I mean, you wouldn't call Florida Gulf Coast average, but technically, I mean, there's so many teams in Division One, so technically, according to KenPom, they are in the dead center of all the teams. They're ranked 164th. But yeah, I think FGCU does have what it takes to get through Queens here. Moving back to the top, though, Lipscomb versus Eastern Kentucky. Now, like I said, Eastern Kentucky is actually 2-0 against Lipscomb this season so far. Can they go 3-0? I actually did think about this a lot. I really like their offense. I think Eastern Kentucky is a team that could be a contender in this tournament. They may be my team with the third highest chances, but it's very hard to beat a good team 3 times, and I think Lipscomb does get their revenge third time around. I think they get past Eastern Kentucky. But would I be shocked if Eastern Kentucky won a third time? No, I would not. But Lipscomb ranked 84th overall in KenPom. They're very high. I just couldn't go against that. They're the only team to be top 100 in both offense and defense. They're just a very well-rounded team. I'll go ahead and take Lipscomb. And then North Alabama versus FGCU. Like I said, North Alabama's kind of what I've seen to be the trendy pick in this conference. I'm going to take them over Florida Gulf Coast. I know it's a bit chalky. I'm sorry, the 1 versus 2 seed. Again, I thought about taking North Florida over North Alabama. I also thought about taking Eastern Kentucky. But I do have to go with the 1 and 2 seeds. Fun fact about this conference is 9 of the 10 past winners in this conference have been either a 1 or a 2 seed. So I think having a 1-2 in the finals is fair. These two teams both split in the regular season, but who do I think will win this conference? I'm going to say North Alabama. I don't want to pick Lipscomb. They screwed me over last year. I picked them. They ended up losing, actually, to North Alabama, I believe, last year. I think North Alabama gets it done again over Lipscomb. I mean, like I said, they split in the regular season. Both these teams are playing very well right now. North Alabama has a top 85 offense in terms of KenPom. And I know Lipscomb is top 100 in both offense and defense. But the thing about North Alabama is they are by far the hottest team in this conference. They have only one loss in the month of February, and I believe that was to Lipscomb. But like I said, they did beat Lipscomb earlier at home this season. And yeah, I think they're the hottest team, and then sometimes that's enough to get it done. They're very, very, very strong offensively as well. So I think North Alabama gets it done and becomes the first team to punch their ticket to March Madness. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this one. Yeah, like I said, we're doing all 31 conference tournament, predicting each and every one. So if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, turn on the noties. Not only do we do college basketball content, although over the next 2-3 weeks, that is what it's going to be mostly. We also do college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that interests you, make sure you go down there. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, and links in the description, as always, X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those, join those. But with all that being said, that is going to do it. And I'll see you guys very soon with another conference tournament predictions. Again, comment down below what you think. But yes, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.